No, I'll add it. I'll add it in there. Gosh, so many people here. Exciting. Big crowd. Thanks.
Should I like FaceTime Casey and get her?
Yeah, actually.
This is the Game 5 press conference featuring the Huskies of Washington. We're joined by head coach Heather Tarr and student athletes Taylor Van Zee, Noelle He, Gabby Plain, and Taryn Alvello. Coach Tarr, lots of good stuff to talk about. Let's talk a little bit about your pitching staff and your defense. Obviously, especially with Gabby in the circle, she gets a whole lot of ground balls, I think over 30 in the two games combined. How important is that relationship between your pitching staff and the defense?
Well, you look down at the stats here, and comparatively speaking, I haven't really looked at this that often, but it's a pretty darn good team ERA that we get to go in with. And one of the reasons why is because both Taryn and Gabby specifically, who have had the majority of the innings as of late, have continued to get better and better. And that's what you do when you come to Washington, is you improve. The other thing that helps them, I know, is their defense. And the defense has their back morning, noon, and night, and they're a connected unit. Today at the end, we got a little bit fast and tried to get probably the third out before we got the first out, so on and so forth. But that's what happens in those moments, and you learn from them, you grow from them, and get ready for the next opportunity that you have to play in those types of moments.
Questions for Coach Tarr, the student athletes?
Gabby, Travis Dyke came to in Eugene. What worked for you tonight compared to this series in Seattle? Obviously, just a very different outcome this time around.
I think just staying strong and staying like on the good pitches, good locations, making them swing at stuff that they didn't necessarily want to swing at. Yeah, just keeping on top of it, trying to minimize the damage that could be done, because definitely last time they got some pretty clutch hits at very necessary times. So I was just trying to make sure that I could pitch pitches that my team could get out for me.
Yeah, Cliff Brunt, Associated Press. Coach Tarr, you've got a freshman out here on the biggest stage, beats Oklahoma, two-time defending champ, that come back, beat the #1 team in the country. What are you seeing from a mental standpoint that allows her to have the confidence to come out? And she seems pretty calm going about doing it.
Yeah, I think that's, in her nature. But, both Taryn and Gabby have a strong mental game, and they're aware of where their head is at, where their heart is at, and it's about regulating that. And Taryn's different than Gabby. Gabby's different than Taryn, but what a great mentor that Gabby has in Taryn to follow, and they couldn't do it without each other. But, each has their own cool strengths that we get to maximize on, and Gabby has that, kind of chill, no worries personality, and then you got Taryn that is a pump you up, fire you up kind of person. So, you have to learn to play behind both personnel, and they have to learn to continue to regulate their heart and be where they need to be when they need to be there.
For Noelle and Taylor, Kleist was also rolling along through 4 innings. What changed in the 5th inning to get to her?
Taylor, can we start with you, please?
Just make adjustments. Obviously it was our 4th game against them this year. So staying within ourselves, staying together, getting a pitch we can handle, just adjustments in the box and communication amongst hitters. So that worked out for us.
Noelle?
I would say something similar, just communication and getting the momentum and just keeping it and cherishing it as a team.
Coach, can you talk about, you talked about you got a little faster in the final inning. Just what exactly was going on, and then what did y'all do to be able to get out of that final inning and keep the game under control?
Well, anytime I think, you put your pitchers in positions to have to, come into the game. Taryn comes into the game in that moment, and she obviously wants to get in a rhythm and go, and then she gets in her rhythm and goes, and then, we coaches make a decision to make a change, and then, okay, Gabby, you got to reestablish your rhythm. The first pitch, I think she chucked it to the backstop, and, here we go. But it's all part of it. It's all part of learning to, be in situations that are uncomfortable, learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and continuing to grow and learn as people and players and coaches. probably said the same thing.
Coach, you did say yesterday that you didn't consider this game a revenge tour against Oregon, but you did also say that you were very aware that you haven't beaten them yet this year. Oklahoma City College World Series aside, how good does it feel to take down Oregon at this point in the year?
I think for what feels good about the game today for us is that we've improved. And, again, that's why these guys came here, is to see how good they could be. And what a great opportunity and stage to perform on and to be able to showcase how good we've gotten.
Yeah, over here. Gabby, how much of a challenge is that to come out and then come back in a situation like that?
It's definitely challenging, but I just sort of went in with the mindset that my team needed me to be there. Taryn was doing an amazing job, and for me to come in at the last minute, it was definitely a bit of an upset, I think. Everyone was sort of a bit flustered, but we got through it, and we'll grow from it. Any mistakes or any unnecessary errors that we made or that we didn't make, we played through a lot of hardships in the game, and it was just a good outcome at the end.
For you, Gabby, sorry. This is a very large stage, obviously, but when you leave home and move to a whole new country at your age, does it get harder to be nervous about anything else after you've gone through that?
Well, I was lucky enough to travel a lot, starting from the age of 15. I traveled a lot with different teams, stayed as a team, away from my parents, away from my family. So it was definitely a good lead-in, I would say, but it's definitely been a challenge to be able to get through so many difficult games. But I will go home straight away and call my parents or talk to them just over the phone. And so I'm always in contact with them. I'm always going back home, technically.
Anything else? All right, thank you. Congratulations.